Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay and choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you all for joining us on another insane edition of Small Town Murder Express. This is a absolutely crazy episode. I don't know how. This is one of those episodes where I'm going, how does you cram this into an hour? Because this is a lot of crazy, and we are going to, boy, is this going to be a hot hour. Quickly, before we start now, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets are on sale right now for all of 2025. Our newest date was announced. That is Madison, Wisconsin, and it's almost sold out already. So if you want tickets,
you guys
get
are
them.
Great.
In a day, you guys, it's just about sold out. Columbus on February 8th, sold out, it looks like at this point. We might release another 10 tickets that they keep for us, but, I mean, that's it. Pittsburgh, not sold out. Pittsburgh, February 7th. Get your asses to Pittsburgh. Let's go. Yeah. Can't go to Columbus, so go to Pittsburgh. Let's do this. We're very excited for it. And the rest of the dates. Check them all out. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, you should listen to our other two shows, Crime and Sports and Your Stupid Opinions, obviously. But let's say you've listened to all of it and you need more.
Have you? Golly.
We have so much more for you, and that is Patreon, patreon.com/CrimeInSports. That is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, First of all, you're going to subscribe. You're going to get a monstrous, hundreds of episodes deep collection of bonus stuff that you've never heard before. Then you're going to get new stuff every other week. One Crime and Sports, One Small Town Murder, and you get it all. This week, we're going to talk about, for Crime and Sports, we have an NFL player who just finished up a murder trial. So we'll talk about him, Travis Rudolph. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to finish up this West Memphis 3 kind of origin story of how we got to the point of needing a documentary team to come down there and talk about this, and how it just got to the point of having those 3 kids there and deciding on them. So we'll talk all about that and more. Patreon.com/Crime in Sports, and you get a shout out at the end of the regular show too on Wednesday.
We'll give you the credit, sure.
Gotta love it. So thank you so much for doing that, everybody that has. That said, let's get right into this.
Okay.
I think it's time here to sit back. What do you say, everybody? Let's all clear the lungs here. And arms to the sky. Let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Where are we going?
We are going to Texas this week.
Yeah?
San Saba, Texas.
San Saba.
Sansaba. 2 separate words. San
two
Saba.
words.
2 separate words. Now, it's actually in Harkeyville, which Harkeyville doesn't... It's got a population of about 12 right now.
Oh.
And you'll find out that's named after this family we're going to talk about, but San Saba is the main area here. That's just kind of a little tiny speck in there. This is in central Texas. It's about 3 hours and 20 minutes to Dallas, about 2 hours to Austin. So middle of goddamn nowhere is the best way to describe this. About an hour and a half to Stephenville, Texas, which is our last Texas episode. Episode 515, Against the Wind. If you want Bob Seger references, that is your episode.
Full of it,
Let me tell you, I don't remember what it was, exactly, but man, this guy he must have reminded us of Bob Seger's. Population here, 3,121 in San Saba, so not a big place at all either. No. Median household income here, $39,583 a year, which the rest of the country, it's about $69,000, so that is nowhere near that. And the median home price here kind of matches that, though. It's low. Median home price, $156,400 is the median. Okay. So that is low compared to the rest of the country. Motto here, the pecan capital of the world.
Is that right?
Apparently so, or pecan. I know. Listen, we're going to say pecan 100 times this episode.
Yeah.
I know that it's about 50-50. It's pecan or pecan or pecan. Or
I think the South, like Alabama, might have something to say about that.
They have pecan, but then other people say pecan. I don't know.
Georgia loves pecan too, right?
I don't know. I'm allergic to them and I don't care. So I can't eat them. So either way.
I love them. God damn.
I don't know if I love them because they make my mouth swell up and I can't breathe. So
you may not have enjoyed the taste ever.
I never. I've always hated pecans, and I go, because I'm allergic to them. That's why I didn't like them, because they make me not be able to breathe and stuff. Wow. So history. Little bit of history here. A little bit. We'll go very quickly here. In 1931, a rancher named W.H. Uncle Billy Gibbons, which I believe he's an original ZZ Top member, very original ZZ Top member.
Uncle Gibbons.
Uncle Billy Gibbons over here. Yeah. He gave the Boy Scouts of America a 99-year lease to campgrounds along the Brady Creek on his ranch property, which, by the way, that's coming up in about 5 years. Yeah. It's going to be up there. So then they relocated several miles upstream in 1946, but the Boy Scouts continue to use Camp Billy Gibbons to this day.
That is awesome.
That is so fucking great. 1938, the San Saba River flooded, causing countywide just ruin, just screwed everything up. 1/3 of the town was underwater. It was a mess. Then in the 50s, they had a huge prolonged drought that fucked everything up and they couldn't grow anything.
Water, so not enough water.
That's how it goes. Notable people that have property here, I know, and he'll come up in the story, oddly enough, very prominently. Tommy Lee Jones.
No kidding.
Absolutely. The actor comes up prominently in the story, which is strange enough as it is.
Okay, he plays a cowboy in a lot of shit. I guess that makes sense.
He's got a giant pecan farm down there. So
really?
We'll talk all about it. Yeah. Reviews of this town. We'll just do one review because there's only two. The other one was just kind of griping. So 4 stars here. I grew up in this town, and majority of the town is related to me, so it made it difficult to make friends since everyone is your cousin, and you almost have to already be friends with them.
Dating was ruined.
Wow. You did that is amazing. Since everyone is your cousin, that is not good.
Get the fuck out.
That's its own joke, right? Its own cliche joke in itself. The town is small, but has nice scenery to it as in the country living. I guess the magazine. I don't know what they're talking about. That was hard to read because I'm like, do those words even go together? As in to it as in country living? What the hell? I always come back to visit every chance I get. You loved it so much you moved away. That's what you just said.
And then came back.
And then you come back to visit, which means you didn't love it that much if you left.
Yeah.
Things to do. San Saba Pecan Capital Trade Days.
Sure.
Got that. That's just basically sounds like a giant flea market that they have in downtown San Saba.
Around pecans, yeah.
It doesn't seem to have much to do with pecans, but, if you want to buy swap meet items, I feel like it's perfect.
Sure.
You want pecans, you go to the Pecan Bottom Festival. Pecan Bottom. Yeah, you're a bottom, a hardcore pecan bottom. That's a very specific type of guy. Well, there's bottoms and there's tops and there's power bottoms and all that. A pecan bottom is a totally different thing. That is like man, you don't even know. That makes power bottoms look like a pussy,
It's a very sweet.
So at this little festival here, there's food and drinks. No coolers or outside food allowed in, though.
You're not allowed to bring your beers.
Keep your coolers at home. Let's see. We have bands.
Yeah.
The coveted 10:30 a.m. spot that all the bands want to play. The hangover slot there.
Yeah.
Mark Scott and Southern Comfort is their name. Then at noon, again, coveted, the Samuel Bryce Lewis will play.
Sure. Yeah.
1:30, Funky Glenn Phillips and the New Chitlins. Funky Glenn Phillips.
The New Chitlins.
Boring Glenn Phillips, but this is Funky Glenn Phillips. Totally different guy. 3 o'clock, Presley Grace. Sounds like they just took Elvis Presley and Graceland and made a name out of it.
It's a gal, yeah.
Also, the West Texas Exiles.
Okay.
Carson Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And then finally, the big closer. Here we go with your headlining act, John Wolfe with an E.
All right.
Okay, then. There you go.
This sucks.
That is $30 to get into, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. 15 for children 4 to 11. I don't think so.
Inflation's crazy.
You got to love pecans, man. Let's just say that shit. Wow. I don't know what they're paying those bands, but too much would be my guess. That said,
yeah, $2 a ticket each person. I don't know. That's nuts.
Let's talk about some murder here. Okay. This is based on, there is a very good article written here that a great information came out of, a real investigative piece called A Tree is Known by Its Fruit by Sonia Smith from Texas Monthly. Texas Monthly does great long-form, in-depth stuff like this. Really do a great job. March 25th, let's go to 2012. So not too far ago. Yeah. Too long ago, I should say. Not too far back. And, everything's the same. Your phone looks exactly the same. Same apps. You got Pretty Instagram. Cool. You're fine. All right, here we go. Late afternoon, Sheriff Alan Brown is out on patrol when a 911 call came in from a 12-year-old boy saying there's some trouble out at the ranch. Okay. So we'll talk about that. We'll get there. There's a trouble at the ranch. So not my ranch, a ranch is what he said. No, so the sheriff here, Sheriff Alan Brown, he takes off down US 190. He's going and going. He pulls up here. He knew the house that he was going to because apparently Bonnie Harkey, who is the matriarch of the Harkey family,
right?
She's lived here, and she's had big, everybody goes to like the same Baptist church here, too.
Of course. Yeah.
So the sheriff knows Bonnie from Baptist church suppers, and also she used to host cookouts for the church people at her house and stuff like that. So he's been there plenty of times. He knows where he's going.
Hostess, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the ambulance is also en route. And they assumed that the ambulance was for Bonnie Harkey, who is 85 years old and in terrible health.
Oh, Bonnie.
So they're like, oh, shit, it's finally time to take Bonnie down here. So I guess not down. I guess to the hospital. Let's take her down.
Put that old bag down.
Bonnie's dead. We put up with enough of Bonnie's shit for too long. We're taking her down. I don't think that's what's going on
Put her in
here.
the backyard and 2 bullets in the head. And
she's 85. Somebody's going to take over. So she's frail. She requires help from a caretaker. She's got some dementia going on and some physical maladies as well. But when they get to the house, instead, when they open the door, right in the landing there, when you walk in the door, is face down is Bonnie's caretaker, 50-year-old Karen Johnson, face down on the floor.
That?
Yeah, this is fucking crazy. Now, they look around. There's an 11-year-old boy there. He's the one who called 911. That is Karen Johnson's son, the caretaker. Karen Gale Johnson is her name. Yeah, that's her son. But Bonnie is nowhere in sight.
Oh.
So did Bonnie did she decide, I'm going to kill this lady and take off? Like,
on
85?
85.
Fuck it. I don't care. Maybe she's Bonnie and Clyde Bonnie. We don't know. She is old. So the sheriff arrived at the house. He sees, the ambulance that got there first. He sees Karen Gale Johnson sprawled face down just inside the front door on top of a floral doormat.
Sure.
So her reading glasses are right next to her on the floor. She was cool to the touch, and she was dead. Mm-hmm. So so they said, "Where the fuck is Bonnie here?" Yeah. You know what I mean? So Karen's 11-year-old son, she's the one who found her. He found his mother and called 911. Yeah. He was on the front porch with the cordless phone, standing there. He had been playing video games in another room, and he said he didn't hear anything. He doesn't know. He came out looking for his mom, and she was face down, so he called 911. He doesn't know what the hell happened. That's
holy.
The normal routine is Karen will come over with her son to take care of Bonnie. They have a spare bedroom. The son will go in the spare bedroom, play video games while his mom works.
Send him off to the Nintendo Wii, and we'll deal with this.
It's 2012, some PS4, and knock yourself out. So this kid is crying, saying, I didn't hear anything. I don't know what happened. And, he doesn't have, blood on him or anything like that. He's not a suspect at this point. There's no sign of a struggle here either. There's a broken fingernail on her right hand, but they don't know if that was there before. It's just one fingernail. So they didn't know what the hell was going on here. So they thought maybe Karen had a heart attack and dropped dead.
Yeah. And
Bonnie didn't know what to do, so she just wandered off because she's confused and old. Maybe she
needs a caretaker.
Maybe they're on the property. So they said there's plenty of space for that to happen. Mm-hmm. So they look all over. They live on a big pecan orchard. So the cops spread out. They get ATVs to go out into the fields to look for, because it's pecan trees, so you can't just look out and see it. Yeah, it's not. If it was some short crop, you can just look out and see if she's standing there, but it's not that. So you have to really go explore and see. They go everywhere. Local firefighters, deputies. They get a bloodhound named JJ from the state prison. All hands on deck, basically, that they have there. A helicopter was dispatched from Waco to Circle. Okay. They had heat imaging cameras. I mean, they were looking for fucking Bonnie. I mean, we have an 85-year-old lady lost, and that's, she doesn't, and she's not in great health, so they don't know how long she can last out there on her own in the elements. Who knows? Sure. So they do everything. They go all over the place. There's high bank along the river. Along the riverbank, there's high grass. They search through there. They search all along Tommy Lee Jones's fence line.
Poor Tommy.
Tommy Lee lives next door. Well, he doesn't live next door, but his property is there. He's got his horses all grazing on the other side.
I'll bet he does live there.
Tommy Lee, he doesn't live there. I know for a fact he doesn't live there. No, it's just his property.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't live there. They say that he doesn't live there, like in the thing. It's just one of his properties.
I wonder how much property is there with all that shit. You got to pay for all that. That's so expensive.
Well, we'll talk all about it. We got stats here. So they said that maybe Bonnie had tripped in the orchard and fallen into the river, possibly.
Oh my God!
The house, kind of the property backs up to a river, so they're like, maybe she did that. They don't know, but the bloodhound followed her trail down the driveway almost to the road and then stopped. So they were like, okay, that looks like getting into a vehicle in the driveway is what that looks like.
Off. Yeah.
And then taking off. So what the fuck is going on? Let's talk all about it here. All right. As of 2012, the Harkey Pecan Farms we'll talk about because that's the thing here. It's a 2-story farmhouse, and it's 3799 West U.S. Highway 190 is the address. This family's been here a long time, and we'll talk about it. Tommy Lee Jones has a huge cattle ranch property next door. He doesn't do pecans. They have about a 300-acre pecan farm, though, the Harkey family. And then Tommy Lee's got an even bigger property, way bigger property next door.
Really?
Oh, it's huge. And he wants their property as well.
Oh.
Yes, he's trying to buy their property. A lot of people think he doesn't give a shit about pecans, but good water rights come with that property.
Sure.
And in Texas, water rights are a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Apparently, San Saba produces up to 5 million pounds a year of pecans. And claims to be the pecan capital of the world, which Chandler, Oklahoma, and Albany, Georgia would like to have a fucking talk with them about because they say, bullshit, we are the number one. Now, a little bit of Harkey history. They're one of the first families to settle into the area before pecans were even an industry. They were here.
Really?
Absolutely. Riley and Israel Harkey, 2 brothers from Arkansas, drove the first wagon train into the county while serving as Indian scouts for the Republic of Texas. I can't even go through that sentence and pick out all the things that are so outdated and old-timey, it's not even funny. Wagon train, Indian scouts, Republic of Texas, it's all right there for you.
That's incredible.
They liked it there, and then they ended up returning in 1855 with their parents and 6 other siblings. They were like, we got to go to this place, man. They got good soil there and shit. So the Harkey brothers founded Harkeyville, which we talked about as a population of 12, but in its prime, it had a general store, a cotton mill, a blacksmith shop, a millinery, a racetrack, all sorts of shit.
Now there's only 12 people.
Now there's 12 people. It had a baseball diamond. You can't even get a game going now. You don't need,
no kidding.
You're 6 people short of a game at this point. So that's crazy. The Great Depression shuttered most of the town, and that's kind of how it went, basically. Like a lot of these small towns, the Depression wiped them out.
Sure.
Wiped them out. People went to where the work was, so that was that.
That's what you got to do, yeah.
So Riley is described as a man with a long, bushy goatee and a square head.
It's not good.
sounds hot.
Sound hot at all.
Sounds hot, dude. That's a very handsome man right there.
That's a problem.
He bought the initial 113.9 acre tract for a farm there in 1885, and then his grandson and eventual heir, Olga Brian Harkey, they named a boy Olga. That stuff. He was born in 1898 here as well. So there was already native pecan trees on the property.
Oh.
And apparently they were considered especially good trees in this area here. So Olga Brian Harkey, he planted the first orchard in 1926, installing 1,200 trees.
Jesus.
Yeah. But that wasn't even for business. That was just like a hobby. He was dicking around. Turkeys were his business.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. In 1932, the newspaper said they have been breeding for perfection and believe now they have a strain that gives turkeydom about everything that is to be desired in a turkey. Turkeydom. All of turkeydom.
Yeah.
So 1957, OB, he has 1 child, and his name's Riley. So they get together with OB, Riley, who was 32 at that point, together with Riley's 2 sons, 10-year-old John, 5-year-old Bruce, planted another 1,500 trees in the grove that came to be known as Harkeyville Orchard. And the farms matured, and they started making a really nice living off of these pecans.
Sure.
Doing really well. Now, Riley, we'll talk about. Riley is Olga Bryan's son. Riley had a lot of, very good work ethic. Obviously, he's planting 1,500 trees. He gets his 5-year-old out there to help me plant trees. That's decent work ethic. He ends up meeting a woman named Bonnie Sawyer Compton, and that's how Bonnie comes into the equation here. They were introduced in 1963, She was working as a telephone operator in Waco. She was divorced and had a 14-year-old daughter of her own named Connie. So Bonnie and Connie. Connie and Bonnie, and now Riley, as we know, has 2 kids of his own as well, Bruce and John. So we're going to have some step situations here. Bonnie grew up in a farming family during the Depression, so that tells you a lot. She had a tough life.
It's a hardened gal.
Yeah, her father was a corn, cotton, and wheat farmer. And, her sister, Wilma, Bonnie's sister, said it bothered Bonnie that we didn't have any money growing up. She never said anything about it, but I could tell by the way she acted. You know, grabbing her stomach in hunger and shit like that. I could tell she was pissed.
I could tell when she was so skinny and anemic.
And she looked at her ragged clothes that were falling off her body from wear. You know, Jesus Christ. Riley's wife, Joan, had walked out on him and the boys. So that's why he ended up with Bonnie. Joan took off.
Quit, huh?
Yeah, she packed up the station wagon and took off for Nevada. Fuck you people. I'm out of here.
Keep the kids.
Keep them. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Keep them. So Bonnie and Riley get married at Waco's Highland Baptist Church. A month after his divorce was finalized, Bonnie quit her job at the phone company, and she and her 14-year-old Connie moved into the Harkey house on the farm.
How about that?
So that's how Bonnie ended up here. And Bonnie really immersed herself in the town life. She made friends. She joined clubs. She, one of her friends said if there was a club in town, she belonged to it. All about it. She was a big Baptist, by the way. She did all of that. She was a huge reader of Better Homes and Gardens. That was her jam. Yeah. She kept all of her back issues stacked neatly in the laundry room.
Doesn't even throw them away.
No. Those are her collector's items. Yeah, just a guy. I saw an article in 1956 about how to do that garden better. I'm going to go get it. Wow. Interesting.
You can use old flannel shirts to make sheets. That article told
wow. Me. I could use flour sacks to make a dress. Yeah, not bad. So she kind of helped fix up the house a little bit here. They added an extra bedroom. They built a sun porch that seats up to 27 people, which is
That's
giant
a big
porch.
fucking porch.
It's a huge porch. Eventually, the home would reach 4,872 square feet.
Nice.
So doing great here. The marriage, not so great, Bonnie and Riley. One of her friends, this is her sister, Bonnie's sister, said he often criticized her. When she'd tell a story, he'd interrupt and say, no, that's not the way it goes. They didn't care. Yeah, they didn't care. She's a bad storyteller.
Yeah.
Is he a dick or is she a bad storyteller? Some people are bad storytellers.
Yeah, it could be both.
When you hook up with somebody, one of the things you have to figure out is, can we tell a story? Yeah. Can we tell a story together?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or which one of us is the family spokesperson?
That's the other thing. Can one of these people tell the story? And that's a very important deal. And I don't know if they did that here or not. The sister said they didn't care if they were in public or not. Riley would tell her something wasn't right, and she would say it is, and they'd get into a big fuss over it.
Oh, my God.
So it wasn't even just like, she'd be like, it is too, and then they'd argue for 20 minutes in front of people. Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Also, none of the kids like each other, by the way.
The stepkids hate each other.
The stepkids, the boys don't like Connie. Connie doesn't like the boys, and the boys don't like Bonnie either. And Connie doesn't like Riley, so that's how it is. Apparently, John and Bruce were especially mean to Bonnie, from what people said here. Yeah, this is Bonnie's sister said they would laugh at her and criticize her food. They'd take a mouthful of food and spit it out, or they'd talk about her and giggle all the time and act rude. They had not been trained to be nice boys.
What the fuck?
Someone cooks you food, you fucking eat it. Don't spit it out, you little scumbag. What's wrong with you?
Wow.
My grandmother would have beat the shit out of me if I did that.
Spit out your stepmom's food?
No, her food. She would have fucking smacked the crap out of me. You son of a bitch. She'd go crazy
I make
over
that for you.
My hide from the Nazis to get here. You can't.
Yeah,
it would have been one of those.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, you don't waste food. So they said Riley didn't discipline them at all either. So that didn't help either. So Bonnie's relatives stopped coming out to visit for holiday dinners because of the boys. That's how bad it was. Yeah. Bonnie's niece said, I think part of their attitude goes back to being a harky. They thought the whole county should still revolve around them. Riley trained his sons. He told them that as harkies, they were special.
Oh, God.
We're the good people in town. We're the special people. We were here first, and we have land and all that kind of shit. Now, Bruce is just looking forward to the day when he can take over the orchards. He sees that as his birthright, at least a third of the orchards. Yeah. So he expected that at some point, when his father was starting to get older, he would hand over the operations to him, just like his father's father did for him.
Sure.
Because OB gave him the pecan farming deal before OB died. So OB could tell that Bruce, by the way, Bruce's name is Bruce Wayne Harkey.
Is that right?
Absolutely. And apparently he was named after Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't an accident.
Fan.
Yeah, his dad liked Batman. So apparently he saw Bonnie as an obstacle of like, now I got to deal with this fucking lady too. Yeah. He said that, she didn't like them and she thought that, so he was worried basically that she was going to edge him out of this farm somehow.
Maybe you shouldn't have spit out the green beans, dickhead.
He liked to tell a lot of people that she made her feelings clear one afternoon when the family was in her new Thunderbird. Oh. And he said, I was in the back seat and I leaned forward and said, so do we call you mom now or what? What do we do? This was right after the wedding. And he said, I still have the scar where my brother kicked me, but all she did was laugh. She never responded. Like I could ever birth you losers. No, I don't think so. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show. His brother kicked him so hard he got a scar?
His brother was like, shut the fuck up, because he was 5, his brother was 10. So his 5-year-old's like, do I call you mom? And 10-year-old's like, don't fucking ask her that. We're not calling her mom.
And she's just giggling, driving the car. I don't know.
Man. So Bruce claims that Bonnie issued an ultimatum to Riley saying, get rid of that kid or I'm going back to Waco and leaving you.
Get rid of the kid?
So John packed up to go to college in 1965 to go to Texas Tech University. And Connie enrolled there a couple years later. By the way, she was San Saba's homecoming queen.
Oh.
Old nice. Connie. Now, Bruce ends up going back and forth to live with his mother in Nevada. and all this type of shit. This is such a small town. When he was 14 and he went to live with his mother, there was an article in the News and Star newspaper with the headline, Bruce Goes West.
Like he's 5. Bruce is getting out of town, you guys.
A 7-year-old is going to live with his mom in Nevada for a while. Do we have a reporter that can get to the scene? Dateline, San Saba. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Someone's getting out, y'all.
He's going. He returned to San Saba for high school, moved in with his grandparents in town rather than live with Bonnie and Riley. So he did a lot of extracurricular activities. He was pretty popular with the ladies. He met a girl named Judy Bishop and knocked her up. They got married in August 1969, her and Bruce, and they move into an apartment, and Bruce works at a Texaco station. That's how that goes.
Doing great.
She ends up giving birth to a 7-pound, 2-ounce boy named Eric Harkey. Bruce's son. He's got some health problems, though. They learn that his epiglottis was not fully formed.
Oh, no.
Which meant that after feedings, he had to be held or laid on his stomach so that he wouldn't choke when he spit up.
Oh, no.
It's fucking, that's hardcore. So at one point, Bonnie invited them, the family, the 3 of them, Bruce's new wife and their young baby, to stay out on the farm for several days. But things went bad. On April 15th, 1970, Bruce was in class, going to college. He sat in English class, and apparently the baby stopped breathing. Bonnie took him to the hospital, but by the time she got there, the baby was dead.
God damn it.
The cause of
glottis.
Yep, the cause of death was aspiration asphyxiation, so they didn't have her laid down. 14 days old, by the way. Poor baby.
Is that like SIDS, you think? Or do they classify it as that?
No, because she choked on it. It's not just a stoppage. That was his condition that caused that. Yeah. I guess Bonnie didn't pay close enough attention to him or something, is what Bruce thinks. So it's a lot here. He's going to already be divorced from his wife here very quickly. By January of the next year, they're divorced. He ends up marrying his high school sweetheart at that point, named Jennifer Carnes, but that only lasted 3 months, and she moved back to where she was living at the time. He dropped out of college, drove trucks in California, did some odd jobs, and then ended up finding work. He went to the Reno Police Department, Sheriff's Department, in 1978 to be a police officer.
Yeah, he's junior.
He's definitely junior, this guy. He got married and divorced 2 more times, had a daughter.
God damn.
2 more times for now.
Yeah.
Bruce will have a total of 8 wives. 8 wives. By the time he is 58 years old, he will have 8 fucking wives. 8.
Oh, my.
That is a lot. 8 is enough. That's his show. Yeah. When they put that show on the air, he's like, I pitched this idea. Bullshit.
That's unbelievable.
Holy shit. That is fucking crazy. So, yes, he ends up moving back to Texas. And in 1987, he got a job in the Texas Attorney General's office investigating Medicaid fraud and nursing home abuse. Really? Which is pretty ironic considering what ends up happening here. So Bonnie and Riley Connie ended up after college, got married, and they adopted an 8-month-old in 1984. And that baby they called Carl. So his name is Carl Presley, Pressley. And Bonnie loved this kid because it was her daughter's kid, even though it wasn't, it was adopted kid, but whatever. So Riley here, remember Bruce's dad here, he purchased a 3rd pecan grove in 1991, 94 acres.
Hell yeah.
And he willed that to Connie. And then the other 2 groves go to John and Bruce. So everybody gets a grove.
Yeah.
Is the way it works here.
Giving you all some nuts.
Yeah. John went and settled outside Fort Worth and had some kids, and that's what he was doing. Okay. Now, Riley ends up, we'll talk about dying coming up here pretty soon. And, that kind of fucks everything up here. So he, by the way, Bruce, we'll go back to him. Bruce is mad at Bonnie because of his son dying for years. He holds a grudge. Even in the 90s, 25 years later, he still says, Bonnie killed my son.
The man's been married 8 times. It feels like he holds the grudge real strong.
Real strong, yeah. He ends up becoming a nursing home administrator in 1994 while he's on wife number 7.
Yeah.
1996, after his 44th birthday, he married his 8th wife, a 20-year-old. That's going to work. After 7 marriages worth of experience. You didn't
understand, James. I've been
whittle it down
my own age.
You didn't whittle it down to what would work and what wouldn't work. You know what I mean? You think, well, blondes. I'm not good with blondes. Okay, none of them anymore. All right, that's wife number 2, 4, and 6. Can't have them. Okay, what about you? Just go down the list.
A woman that was born 2 years after my first marriage.
What a fucking dude! That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Her name is Cammie Jones. Now, apparently, Riley. At this point, Bruce is saying, why don't you start stepping down, Riley, 1996, and let me run the farm? And Bruce is saying no. He would say, so he would get mad. Cammie said Bruce would say stuff like, well, quote, well, they just need to die so I can have the farm. So Riley does die in 1997.
Really? Took his advice.
He said, thank you. That is good advice here. So Bonnie, though, takes over everything. The 3 orchards bring in over $100,000 a year in pecan money.
Yeah,
so she's sitting pretty. She's doing fine. She stays in the house, and that's that, basically. Yeah. That December, she won 2nd place for her pie and cookie entries in the San Saba County Pecan Food Show.
Sure.
Look at that. Now, Bruce starts to really spin out. Apparently, his marriage with Cammie, he grew very controlling after this.
Oh, because she's 20?
Because she's 20. She gave birth to their daughter in 1998. And he would then, after that, he was awful to Cammie, apparently. Yeah. He would choke her, pull her hair, hold a gun to her head, things like that. Fun stuff. Threatening to kill her. Basically, one time she didn't have dinner on the table by 6 o'clock, which was his rule, and he threatened to kill her for it. So that was nice. So when their daughter was 4, Cammie walked out on him. Mm-hmm. And so what he did is, he's a nursing home administrator. He's all pissed off. He told a coworker at the nursing home that he was thinking about how to kill Cammie. How do I do this?
Yeah.
He gave the coworker 3 guns, 2 old Chinese military rifles, and a semi-automatic .22, asking him to, can you scrape these serial numbers off? Is that possible?
Do you got a Dremel at home?
You got any of that? Then he talked about, this is funny, he had an idea. He goes, I think I know how to do it one day. This is how I'm going to kill her. I'm going to put poison on her steering wheel.
Oh.
And then she'll hold it and it'll seep into her body and she'll die. Okay. So the coworker and Bruce's boss were so freaked out by this that they told the fucking police.
Good, yeah.
And a Texas Ranger and an ATF agent began to record Bruce's conversations now. They set up a sting operation where an informant provided Bruce with an illegal silencer, and federal agents arrested him, charging him with possession of firearm in connection with a crime of violence.
Yeah.
He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge and all of that kind of thing. And his lawyer tried to say it was just all talk.
He bought a silencer.
You gave someone guns and said, can you get the serial numbers off of these? That's a lot more than talk.
You make this
That's planning.
Less traceable and get me a silencer. God damn.
The judge said, you, sir, may fuck off. 5 years in federal prison for you. He was released in 2007 and returned to San Saba. He had to have an address at this point for parole and shit. So he sent a letter to Bonnie saying, please let me live on the farm. Bonnie said that after she talked it over with her pastor, she agreed. I think the pastor probably told her, hey, that's your stepson. And, this whole Christian thing, we're supposed to be nice to people and shit. So you should probably let him stay here, I would assume.
Oh, boy.
So anyway, Bruce moves into an upstairs bedroom where his ex-wife, one of Jennifer Carnes, remember her?
Yeah.
She moves back in. With him. Yeah, they get back together. They fixed up a little apartment on the property there and did all of that shit. So now he can't find work, though, because he's a convicted felon and everyone around town knows he wanted to have his wife killed. So that doesn't work.
Tried to kill a young woman.
They said that at that point the orchards were starting to kind of fall apart a little bit.
Oh.
Jennifer said the orchards were in such horrible condition because Bonnie and Connie didn't know how to run a farm or what to do with pecan trees. So, yeah, that's how that worked. I guess as a favor to their friend's son here, they hired him to clean out their barn, but it was a short-term deal. One afternoon, this guy showed up at the Oliver Pecan Company an hour before closing time to ask for a job. This is Bruce showing up. Mm-hmm. And they said, quote, he just had a meltdown. He stayed for about 2 hours and cried. This is an hour before closing. So these people had to stay past the end of their shift to listen to a stranger cry.
Listen to a grown man cry.
The guy there said, he told me I'm the brokest millionaire in San Saba County because he had the property he couldn't touch. Mm-hmm. He also filed for bankruptcy in 1998 to discharge $176,256 worth of debts and owed more than $100,000 in back child support to Cammie. $100,000.
He hasn't paid a dime.
Wow. A former Texas Ranger who knew him said if you asked him what time it was, he'd tell you how to build a watch. One of those guys.
Oh, boy.
He said, there's no secrets around here, and if there is a secret, someone will make up a story to fill in the gaps. The Harkeys had that reputation that there was always some trouble brewing after Riley died. I guess with any big estate worth any kind of value, you got a bunch of people involved, there's going to be fuss. They love fuss here. They replaced the word fighting with fuss.
Everybody's fussing.
Everybody's fussing about. Now, Carl, let's talk about Carl here. Remember Carl? Carl is Connie's adopted
Connie's
son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce began to hang out with Carl more around this time.
Why? What?
Carl's in his 20s. Carl developed two loves as an adult.
Uh-oh.
Motorcycles and methamphetamine, the two M's. The big M's right there. Those are his two big ones.
The M&Ms that real go together.
Yep. This article describes him at 24 years old as having the meth has worn his bottom teeth down to little yellow stubs.
How old?
24.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Bonnie spoiled him fucking rotten. Basically, he's been living with Bonnie for a while now. Sure. Connie and he would stay here while Connie did something else. She bought him a truck when he ruined it. He said he wanted to raise boar goats, so she bought him a flock of them and
a bunch of goats.
Shit like that, like just whatever he wants.
They all died.
Yeah. She's the apple of his eye. I mean, she had a daughter. She didn't have any sons. This is a son. Right. He dropped out of high school after the 11th grade and went to work in the oil fields. Then he married a local woman in 2003 when he was 19. Mm-hmm. They had a daughter and a son. They separated. Carl started dating Lillian King, who he had another daughter with in 2008.
What?
Oh, yeah. He's going to keep having kids.
He's 24 and has 3 kids and no teeth.
3 kids, no teeth, and a pocket full of meth. But a sweet motorcycle. It's sweet.
He's also in charge of orchards and can't even eat the fucking pecans.
Fuck no. He's like, oh, man, they look crunchy. He also has got a pretty good criminal record, too. His charges include trespassing, domestic violence. In 2005, the domestic violence isn't for a woman, by the way. In 2005, he allegedly tried to run his stepfather over with a tractor, which is a very small-town murder kind of crime right there. That's wild. He also, realized that pecans are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
He said, a truck full of nuts is worth a lot of money. So he started stealing pecans from the barn. One guy said Carl would show up with a pickup full of pecans, and we bought them. We didn't know he stole them.
Yeah, how could you tell? I mean, how would you know?
Carl's such a fuck-up, he's banned from the First Baptist Church.
You can't even come where we forgive people.
That's what the church is like, come here to get redemption and all this type of shit. Except you, asshole. You fuck everything up when you come here.
We will not redeem nor forgive you ever.
Shit, no. Apparently he showed up at Bible study on a Wednesday one time to demand money from Bonnie. And the pastor said if he was coming to worship and study, that was fine, but we didn't want that anger.
Right.
Another time, Bonnie refused to buy him a new set of tires, so he blocked her car with his truck and refused to let her leave the house. Essentially kidnapped his grandmother here.
Until you get me some new BFGs.
Oh, my God. But she kept giving him money. Her niece said the more we tried to convince her to get away from him, the more she would say it was not the Christian thing to do. But he was bleeding her dry. 2011, Connie, Bonnie's daughter, Carl's mom, dies of pneumonia.
Really?
Yes, she dies.
How old is she?
She was 62, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
2012, the Harkey Bunch. Here they are.
Yeah.
Bonnie, 85 years old, the Pecan Queen of the county, as she's known, the matriarch. She's got white, puffy hair. She looks like, if you said, draw me a picture of a little old Baptist lady in Texas, you would draw her. Little old lady, white curly hair.
She looks like the
Mennonite
old lady
dress.
From, the old lady from the Warner Brothers cartoons that beats up the cat.
Yeah,
away from Tweety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's got a pie cooling on the windowsill, one of those things.
and a broom as her favorite weapon.
Oh, yeah. She's in garden club and goes to all the Sunday school and everything like that. But she's also suffering from dementia, and she was diagnosed with an aortic aneurysm. So she's on her way out. She's 85. And,
not well. Yeah.
And not well, good health at all. She's on her way out. She, declined a lot. She still lived on the home, though, and everything. But Bruce said that she couldn't recognize him or his wife when they visited about her in 2012. Bruce said, we knew that Bonnie was in horrible physical and mental condition. But she was also lucid about some things. Her daughter, Connie, had her driver's license revoked, had Bonnie's driver's license revoked. So Bonnie wrote a letter to the Texas Department of Public Safety to contest it.
Could you maybe give her the back to her, please?
She said, I really don't know what caused someone to report that I am incapable of operating an automobile. I try to be careful when driving. I do not take any medicine that would cause unsafe driving. I do drive slowly more times than I should because I would not want to hurt anyone. I do have family who want the property I live on, and I have heard many times they want to get rid of me. Mm-hmm. She wrote that. That's interesting. Her friend Betty Ann, who would stop by to fucking see her all the time, said every time I went, she said, please do not let them take my home away from me, Betty Ann. I want to stay here as long as I can. Okay. Then you got Bruce, the son, who's got a murder for hire plot, and it happened already. Yeah. Former police officer and in Texas Attorney General's office investigator and ex-husband of 8 women. So, yeah. That's wild.
Really living the opposite life of Bruce Wayne.
Totally. Absolutely. Annette King is Bruce's common law wife at this point. A new one in here now. We have Carl Wade Presley. He's the grandson. Right. He's about 27 at this point. And the one that she's been giving all this fucking money to and all that kind of thing. No teeth in his head. Yeah, totally not. A lot of jail stints, by the way, for Carl. Besides the tractor incident, he also went to jail for harassment of his uncle, driving with an invalid license, and violating probation by threatening his mother.
Texas Murdaws. That's what they are.
Yes, that's kind of what they are, except not as rich.
Yeah.
Bruce said Carl ran through money like water. She's the only woman who ever nurtured, ever cared for him, provided for him, gave him everything in the world that he ever wanted. And, Lillian King is his girlfriend. She's 24. Tommy Lee Jones lives next door. That's the cast of characters at this point.
Unbelievable.
So Bruce and John, the brothers, Briley's kids, Bonnie's stepkids, they saw their inheritance and they started wrangling over the property. In 2011, the brothers had persuaded Carl to sell them his future rights to the orchard that his mother had for $75,000, even though the property was valued at $500,000. Well, those are meth prices.
Fire sale.
That's what a meth person. It's a $500,000 orchard. I'll give it to you $75,000. What do you say? Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going. Look good out there. And you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank. Because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Experience furniture shopping the way it's meant to be at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore. From sofas to dining sets, from modern to classic styles, they have everything you're searching for. With over 230,000 items to choose from, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for at a price you'll love. Plus, everything is in stock and ready for fast, free delivery right to your door. So you don't have to wait. And if you're looking to really transform your space, take advantage of our complimentary interior design services. Our expert designers are ready to help with any project, whether big or small. And right now, check out the Lazy Boy BOGO event at Mathis Home, happening now through March 1st, 2025. Buy one Lazy Boy recliner and get another one absolutely free. Don't miss this limited time offer. Only at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore.
That is fucking funny. Now, Bruce was broke, so Carl didn't see any of that money until a little bit later, when another sale was approved of a field that they had and all this type of shit. But the most of all, their neighbor, Tommy Lee Jones, wants their property.
Yeah.
He bought his property in 1981 and had amassed a 5,050-acre ranch.
Holy shit.
Tommy Lee just adds on to it
trying never to see anybody.
Every movie, he just adds on to it. He's like, that's why you're like, why is he in all these shit movies? That's why he's like, this is my happy face. They're like, why is he doing that? This is why.
Men in Black 8, you bet.
Doesn't care. I'll do it. More property.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's doing all this type of shit. He's trying to buy these properties here. Yeah. John and Bruce reached out to him, and after some negotiation through an intermediary, Tommy Lee Jones put down an offer of $541,822.50 on the offer.
Okay.
The brothers accepted. Contract was drawn up, but Bonnie still lives there. So
yeah, you can't get rid of her. What's the agreement?
That's the problem. So Bonnie's lawyer looked over the deal and found the terms were not beneficial to her at all, and said, "You can't do this.
We're not doing it." Yeah.
So Bonnie was pissed off at this point, and Bruce is mad at her, and everybody's all goddamn pissed off here. So yeah. So they decide, look, we got to get this money. We're going to get this money, and we can't get it as long as she's alive. We're going to sit here and wait and watch her wither away. So instead, Bruce goes to Carl and says, tell you what, Carl, I'll give you $500, 500 big ones, to, quote, make her gone this weekend. Okay? Then, after she's dead, I'll give you $55,000. So a down payment of $500 followed by $55,000, which is...
You're going to get $55,500 to do this.
That's it. So Bonnie woke up. She ate breakfast. Karen, who brought along the young son, this is March 25th, 2012, the day this all happened here, brought along her young son. She drove Bonnie to church in Bonnie's gold Chevy Malibu. After Sunday school, they attended the 10:30 service, sitting in the 6th row, listening to the pastor. It was deal. Afterward, they went home. Bonnie changed out of her Sunday clothes, and Karen's son went in to play in the bedroom, and Bonnie sat in her maroon recliner to watch television and read magazines like she normally did. Yeah. Not bad. So then you get the 911 call. Everybody goes. They find Karen Johnson. Now, after reconstructing Bonnie's movements that morning, the search team had no fucking idea where she was. They looked, I told you, they didn't know if she fell in a river, if she's in the pecan fields. So one of the sheriffs said, someone's got to go back to the office to be near the phones in case someone calls. Literally, everyone was out.
Everybody went.
Everybody. The phones are ringing off the fucking hook at the police station.
There's a water leak. There's shit spraying everywhere.
It's fucking crazy. It's all sorts of there's food deliveries going. No one's getting them. So about 8:30 p.m. that night, a call comes in, and it's Lillian King's mother. That is Carl's girlfriend's mother.
Okay, yep.
She knew that her daughter and Carl had been out at the Harkey house that afternoon and had asked a friend to contact the sheriff when she learned that Karen was dead. She said, I know things are crazy right now, but I might have some information about where Bonnie Harkey is. I'm 99% sure that Carl Presley's involved. That's what she said. So they spent the next few hours, the cops do, trying to find Carl and Lillian, and also requesting a silver alert for Bonnie and a statewide APB on Carl's Mustang. So finally, at 2 a.m, they call Carl's cell phone all night. Finally, at 2 a.m, he answers.
Oh?
He and Lillian were in Normandy, which is 4 hours east of San Saba, staying at a campground. So they told him, get your ass back here immediately. Karen's dead. Bonnie's missing. Let's go.
You got some splaining to do.
Lillian said Carl started crying at this point, but they weren't real tears.
Oh.
So they get to the station. They're separated immediately. And Carl said that, I did. I took Bonnie for a drive in her car. He said we went to the San Saba River, and that's what happened. Yeah. So we just hung out. And then, I don't know, I brought her home, and I don't know where she wandered off to.
An 85-year-old woman wanted to run down to the river.
You know, she likes the river down there. She was going swimming. So she likes to fight the current. It's good for her. It's good cardio. So then Lillian in the other room just breaks down and says, it was eating me alive. I just couldn't do it anymore.
What?
So they separate them, obviously.
Yeah.
And they sat in the Sally port of the jail, which is where the cop cars are, where they could use a patrol car's dash cam to record the interrogation because they don't have a fucking interrogation room with a camera in it. In 2012. Dude, in 2012, they don't have a fucking interrogation room with a camera.
It does have a spotlight. I mean, you could probably put her under the hot one.
And he said, we don't have the budget of big cities, so he had to use the same thing we used to record traffic stops to record a capital homicide confession.
Unbelievable.
So they're trying to lock Carl into a story, and he said, me and Lillian went out there, and he said that he's just bullshitting basically through it. He's saying that, Now he says, because they said, your girlfriend said you took her. Yeah. And he said, I did take my grandmother out of the house to protect her from some tough guys I owed money to.
Okay. So
they were mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect her. He said, I picked her up in the evening. Look, I am on drugs, obviously. Drives her to a Rainey's Crossing and drops her off in the bushes, he says. I said, stay here in the bushes and hang out. They said, no, that's probably not true. So he said, okay, yeah, that's not true. You're right. I took Bonnie back to my trailer in Normandy. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, I really miss my grandmother. And they were like, well, isn't she at your trailer in Normandy? What the fuck are you talking about? And that's weird. And so that all goes on. Finally, about 2 hours later, he says, fine. And he says, quote, she ain't going to forgive me.
No?
He says, and the sergeant says, your grandmother's forgiven you for everything else. Why wouldn't she forgive you for this? Just tell us. So finally, he said, okay, fine. Lillian dropped me off at the house while Bonnie was at church. I climbed through a window and hid downstairs and smoked meth while I waited for her to return.
Why would you do that?
Okay. When Bonnie and Karen get home, he texted Lillian, who was to come back and ring the doorbell, serving as a distraction while he tiptoed into Bonnie's bedroom. This is a meth plan.
Oh, my God.
He planned to smother Bonnie with a pillow at nap time. He was going to hide in the closet till she went to sleep, then pop out and fucking smother her with a pillow.
And that's going to, okay.
Okay. So that was the plan. And then he was going to sneak out. But he said Karen spotted him as she answered the door. She answered the door for Lillian, and he was going to run in the bedroom, but it's a fucking... I don't know if he thought Karen was blind and deaf also, or also 85, but she's a 50-year-old lady. It was fine.
Really focused on answering that door.
Totally. So apparently that was the problem. Karen spotted him. He said he panicked and tackled her in a bear hug and threw her to the floor, where he suffocated her beneath his body weight. He just smushed her until she couldn't breathe anymore and died, this poor lady.
All right. A meth head did that.
A meth addict. Holy shit. Lillian, meanwhile, kept Bonnie occupied in the living room away from all this with conversation and the TV. They're having a nice chat. Oh, you went where? Oh, that's nice, while he's suffocating a woman.
How was the sermon?
Carl then went to find Bonnie and asked if they could pray together in her bedroom. We go in your bedroom and pray together? Can't pray out here, obviously. God's only in your bedroom. So
how Baptist is she?
Very. She agreed. They said her Bible sits on a doily on her coffee table, like it's a special thing. Yeah. She agreed. They sat together at the foot of the bed and prayed, and then Carl lunged toward her with a pillow. He said he stopped short of smothering her when he thought he heard the doorbell ringing. Then Bonnie called out to Lillian that Carl's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And then Carl somehow convinced Bonnie that no, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was
hugging you.
I was helping, and convinced her of it because she's an old lady with dementia. God. Then he said, we should all go for a drive. Come on, let's go for a drive. It's a nice day.
Okay.
So they all got into Carl's car. He insisted that Lillian drive because his license had been revoked, obviously.
Right, yeah.
They went for the campground in Normandy, I don't know which one it is, where a friend from his motorcycle club had loaned him an RV. He said, but by the time they arrived, it was evening, and Carl told Bonnie that he wanted to show her a real nice fishing hole, like all 85-year-old ladies care about. So she said, oh, okay, sure, dear, because she's a nice old lady, and it's her grandson. Fuck. So they walked.
She's forgiven him for everything.
Yep. They walked to a nearby ravine and down the embankment to a small stream where he hit her over the head with a dead tree branch. This is a fucking 85-year-old lady. And pushed her face. The water's only ankle deep. He pushed her face into it until she stopped struggling. He fucking drowned her in ankle deep, shitty brown water.
Oh, my God.
Then he covered her up with leaves and mud by the handful and left.
Oh, my, what?
Left her there. Yeah. So they said, who else is involved? And he said, Lily. And they said, who else? And then he thought for a moment and looked down. And then he said, Bruce wanted me to get rid of her and take care of her. He put money in my bank account. According to Carl, Bruce had come to see him on Friday to propose a deal. Get rid of Bonnie this weekend. I'll pay you. I'm going to be out of town. I don't want nothing to do with it. Don't tell anyone I had anything to do with it. Bruce gave him $100. $100. That's all I need.
$100 cash.
$100 cash with the promise of depositing $350 more in his bank account on Monday after it's done. And then he said, of course, so, we'll give you all that later here. He initially offered $500, but Carl offered to do it for $50 less, knowing that Bruce was kind of broke.
I'll do it for $450.
The cop later said Carl has not been accused of being very intelligent. Which true. I can tell you that right now. Yeah. I don't know if it's the meth or what. It's fucking crazy. He said that all Bruce ever talked about was Bonnie killed my son. She needs to suffer the way my son did, Bruce told me. Wow, that is fucking wild. I don't even know what to say about that. So according to Carl, he approached another potential man about killing Bonnie, but the guy wanted 10 grand for it. So he's like, never mind. I'll just have Carl do it.
It's probably a cop.
Yeah, Bruce told him, I tried to get a guy to do it, but, hitmen are expensive. You're a meth head. You'll do it.
He wanted more money than I have.
Man, so yeah, when they searched for Bonnie, they found her. He led them to the body. No. They found her curled up in the fetal position and buried under a thick layer of leaves and mud caked into her white hair. Autopsy reveals, we'll find out, but she'd been hit over the head and drowned in shallow water, just like he said. He was honest with that. Yeah. The preliminary autopsy said she died of a combination of homicidal violence comprising blunt force head injuries and probable asphyxia, including drowning. Water was found in her lungs, indicating she was still breathing when she was put under the water.
Wow.
Yeah. Carl's friend here said that he got a phone message from Carl about his grandmother's death. And he said this guy said, I was trying to help Carl rebuild his life and all this type of shit. I got him into a trailer home. I got job interviews lined up for him. I gave him gas money. He said, quote, I feel like I got stabbed in the back. That's at least you didn't get drowned in a shallow creek. It's better than that.
Could have been worse.
So a few hours after Carl's confession, Bruce gets news that the investigation knows about him.
Yeah.
So he called the sheriff himself. And he said, Sheriff Brown, he said, Alan, I just got a phone call from my wife saying she just got a phone call about you coming to arrest me, my brother, and her. I said, for what? And they said, yeah, you're going to get arrested, stupid. And he was arrested. And
yeah, we've heard about you.
He said, I didn't do it. He said, first of all, I wouldn't hire Forrest Gump to commit murder.
Okay.
Because that's what Carl said. He calls Carl Forrest Gump. You know what I'm saying? He said, second of all, if I thought somebody needed killing that bad, I'd take care of it myself.
Oh, he's a stone cold killer.
Not hire fucking Forrest Gump to do it. But then they talked to all sorts of people. Basically, everyone in town said, oh, yeah, I heard him say, I just wish the old bitch was dead. I wish that old bitch would die already. What? Another one said, quote, I told him that I could just get the money and go to Belize. Just go to South America now. Yeah. It's wild here. So he had an alibi because he knows to make an alibi for himself. He was outside of Fort Worth at a friend's house when all this was going down on purpose. Yeah, he said, I'm going out of town. So anyway, by the time within 72 hours of the murder here, Bruce is in jail, Carl's in jail, and so is Carl's Lillian there. Yeah. Lillian, and she goes by Annette sometimes. I don't know why. Yeah. So they're all, I don't know if it's her middle name, who knows. They're all sent to different county jails. I guess Jennifer, Bruce's wife, was never arrested, and John, they were looking into him, the other brother, but he died of a heart attack 3 months later, so they just said, well, fuck it, I guess.
I mean, he may have been part of it. We don't know. Maybe that killed him.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, my brother killed my mother. That's crazy. So he's got about, the family owns about 200 acres, they said, and they didn't know who will control the property at this point. It's one of those things. That's all up in the air. So Bruce goes to trial. Yeah. They say this was all about greed. And they go down a list. He believed that Bonnie was responsible for his son's death, resented Bonnie and referred to her using insults and expletives, told people he wished she would die. A few days before the murder, King's mother overheard, this is Annette's, or Lillian's mother, right, overheard Carl tell another person that on the phone that Carl needed $100. She also overheard another conversation with in which Carl said he needed $250 if the other person, quote, wanted something done. Harkey told several people he was going to be out of town that weekend, emphasizing in an unusual way that he was going to be gone all weekend.
I'm going to be gone, you guys.
I won't be back till Monday. Like on Sunday,
yeah,
I'll be gone the whole day. Like not coming back till the next day.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. At least 24, 48
Fuck.
hours.
Cell phone records show that Carl called Bruce twice the day of the murders. Bruce told an investigator that he could have killed Bonnie himself if he wanted to, and specifically mentioned he could have pushed her off a riverbank or put a pillow over her face.
God damn.
It's like, I could do that. He goes down a list for the investigators. I could have killed her this way, that way. Yeah, it's a lot here. And they said they had also evidence that Harkey had previously tried to have Bonnie killed as well. Testimony that Harkey had solicited 2 people to kill a sheriff, a justice of the peace, 2 lawyers, and 2 of his ex-wives, too. These are all the different murders he's plotted.
He gets in relationships with people and then it's just like, I'll kill everybody.
I'll kill all y'all. So in exchange for a lighter sentence, Carl and Lillian testify against Bruce.
Sure.
They also hear from 2 inmates from where Bruce is housed in jail, including one member of the Aryan Brotherhood who claimed that Bruce tried to hire them from jail to kill both Carl and fucking Lillian.
I heard y'all are real bad men.
Wow. One of Bruce's attorneys in the closing said that there's no evidence that links him to the killings at all. Nothing. Okay. He said, so what if those 2 testified that they were hired? That's bullshit. The verdict, the jury took an hour to reach the verdict of fucking guilty for Bruce.
Holy shit, he couldn't be more guilty.
Couldn't be more guilty. One of the cops said, quote, he genuinely thought he was fixing to get a not guilty verdict. Genuinely thought. And when the jury read it out, his mouth dropped open and his shoulders dropped. He was floored.
Getting fucked, too, yeah.
Getting fucked. Speaking of floored, sir, may fuck off life without parole for Bruce.
Welcome to Texas.
Welcome to Texas. He's lucky he didn't get the fucking death penalty for that shit. So it's a lot. Carl and Lillian, on the other hand, they're going to get sentenced here. Carl, you, sir, may fuck off. You might not know where you are because you're a little stunad, but that's okay. Yeah. Life without parole.
Same shit.
Same shit. So no lighter sentence there. They just said we'll take the death penalty off the table.
Yeah.
At her hearing, Lillian here sobbed uncontrollably. The sheriff handed her a cup of water and said, "You're making out better than anyone else in this by far.
Don't worry about it.
You, ma'am, may fuck off. 45 years in prison."
There's a silver lining, Lillian.
It's silver lining.
Down.
She's eligible for parole in 2034, I believe.
Fuck.
That's amazing. And then outside the courtroom, a witness who watched the whole trial and, knows all these people said, what do you have to say about this? You know all the participants. You watched the whole trial and sum it up for us. And he said, well, we're just trying to figure out who Tommy Lee Jones plays in the movie if he doesn't play himself. Oh, God. So Bruce is...
We're looking forward to Hollywood casting this one.
That's amazing. Bruce is housed at the James V. Allred unit in Wichita Falls, Texas. Yeah. Carl and Bruce in prison, by the way. Holy shit, it's fucking funny. Carl said Bruce could con you into doing anything he wanted you to do. He said, I thought Bruce was my best friend, but he don't care about anybody but himself.
Cares about Bruce.
That's right. He said, and then the author reached out to Bruce, and Bruce said, the real story is of greed, corruption, love, hate, lies, and violence. And I'm the only one left alive that knows the truth.
Oh.
That's right. He said, was I enamored or happy about Bonnie Harkey? No. I never did like her, never did get along with her. But that didn't mean that I was responsible for her murder. She's the closest thing to a mother that I've ever had. Right. That's what she said.
You're a dick to her.
Yeah, I would say so. Carl said, quote, Bruce said, how is it if I'm the mastermind that I established an alibi before I planned the crime? Exactly. That's what you did.
That's the idea. This is what masterminds do.
Totally. He then said, I didn't have anything to do with the death of Bonnie Harkey or Ms. Johnson. Nothing. If I waste my time and energy hating the people I've claimed I did, I'm taking away time from my loving wife and children. Which one? Which of your 8 wives? And I won't do that. All I want to do is get cleared up and go home.
Clear it all up. It's real foggy around here. Nobody knows what happened.
Shit. So that's fucking amazing. Carl's legal wife, by the way, who he wasn't living with just like 3 wives ago, Melissa Pafford, and their 2 children, they move into the house.
Into the Pecan house?
The Pecan house, yeah, apparently. They said it appears the orchards would be divided up among them and the heirs. At this point, if you look up the house, it is like a 1-acre property. It's not. It's separated from the farms now.
All the shit is gone, and it's just the house.
They had people, I guess, farming the property that had a lease. Their lease ran out, and that was that. That's how it goes. The author said, quote, that they drove up to the house to look at it, and said, as I got out to read the inscription, the property's owner, a mustachioed 74-year-old named Larry Hibbler, rode up to me on an ATV. He said, this was all Harkey before, the whole area. He said his son had built the house where the Harkey blacksmith shop once stood, and they said you could still find racing horseshoes if you dug in the dirt. This guy said, but I'm the mayor of Harkeyville now, and he looked around and said, there aren't any Harkeys left.
Oh, my God.
All gone. They did a City Confidential on this, by the way, called San Saba's Deadly Harvest. So there you go, everybody. We're running late. I'm going to run through the end real fucking quick. That's a crazy goddamn story. That's what I was trying to say. That's a lot.
Shit.
To cram into an express. It's a lot. A huge piece of shit, and Forrest Gump's a murderer. So there we go.
Unbelievable.
Very interesting. Check out shutupandgivememurder.com. February 7th, we are in Pittsburgh. Get those tickets now. Next night in Columbus is sold out, guys, so get your tickets right there. Also, certainly get tickets for Madison, which just was released that date if you want to go, because that show is almost sold out already. It's been on for sale for a day. Awesome. So get in there right now and get those tickets for the rest of the year. Definitely shutupandgivememurder.com, patreon.com/crime and sports. All the bonus episodes you want. $5 a month gets you hundreds of back episodes of bonus shit. New ones every other week. This week for Crime and Sports, football player finishing up a murder trial. Part 2 of West Memphis 3. How the fuck did we end up here? Yep. We'll get to that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Follow at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Small Town Pod on Facebook. Shutupandgivememurder.com is the website. Keep coming back and seeing us. Until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.